Happy February to everyone. Valentine's month, Lovers Month, time for lovers to come out. And that's what we're going to talk about today. For everybody who might be joining us for a first time, I'm Dr. Willie Jolley, and this is the beautiful and vivacious.
This is Dee Taylor-Jolley.
Young woman I married, oh boy, almost 36 years ago. We started dating almost 40 years ago. And I was a pup. I always tell you I'm just a pup. And so she robbed the cradle and well, all the above. But
and you were fast.
I enjoyed being the cradle being robbed. Okay. Anyway, so we are the Jollies, and we're the authors of the book Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last: 10 Secrets to Shape a Great Marriage. And we are grateful for the book that it continues to sell. And people are buying. Somebody ordered some today, didn't they? So we signed them.
Several orders today.
Yeah, we signed them because you want to get the autographed.
It's a great time with Valentine's Day.
Ooh, is this a great time? We highly recommend.
How to improve your relationship, your intimacy.
Intimacy right now. We want to enhance, enrich, improve.
That will improve your relationship.
Yep, that's right.
But look at this. This is chocolate.
This is chocolate.
And guess what? This is chocolate we made.
That's chocolate we made.
And we're talking about, you know what? Valentine's Day is coming up. And what can you do differently Valentine's Day in COVID-19?
This is a picture of us actually last Friday night with our smocks on.
We were actually making chocolate.
And we made chocolate.
He had an apron on and I had an apron on. And we were doing a Zoom chocolate making with a chocolatier from Jamaica.
Chocolate.
So it was a history lesson as well as making and eating chocolate. It was so much fun.
It was
Several
fantastic.
couples. It was so much fun. So that's what we want to bring. We want to talk about, okay, it's time for love now. It's time for love all of the time.
Right.
So what are some things that we can do to enhance our relationship and just have some fun?
Yeah, so you know what we're finding, that we're in a pandemic. You're not going out. You're with somebody. I've had 2 or 3 of my friends who've been long-term married folks said, isn't it good that I married somebody I like? Because I've been stuck in a house with them for 10 months. Hey, but let's give a shout out to a folk. Terrence E. from Gray, my man. Usher saying from Baltimore. David Robinson is in. Linda Kazera from West Virginia. Folks are joining us from IG. Bowling Anthony. Hyper Ventures. We've got folks joining in from all over. Wave. Lots of love to everybody.
Thank you for joining us. If you just joined in, you're the Jollies. And we're talking about it's Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Well, it's the Valentine's Day. We'll say it's going to run through the 14th.
Yes, the 14th, which is a Sunday this year. So we wanted to make sure you knew about some of the things we're doing.
So Valentine's Day in the midst of COVID. So what does that look like? And we were just saying, look, guys, we made chocolate.
We made chocolate. I mean, we're the
with nuts.
We're the
and cherries. What the what?
The things you put the chocolate in.
The molds, they're in there.
Okay.
So anyway.
Yeah, they certainly are.
So we did this through Zoom with a chocolatier out of Jamaica.
Little hearts. We made hearts.
So it was about an hour. It was a wonderful
stars.
And it was a bonding experience.
Blue bonnets and little.
And I think we ate as much as we made.
It was fun. It was really fun.
And it was fun because there were other couples. Some had double boilers. We didn't have that.
Nope.
So some had all the little cute little stuff to make. We didn't have that.
Nope.
But the history lesson.
Yes.
Of chocolate in Jamaica and how it came about and the crop and the economics of it. It was just enjoyable. It was just a wonderful experience to see friends and the like that we had not seen for over 10 months.
For over 10 months.
For over 10 months. So we wanted to say, okay, Valentine's Day is coming up. Why don't we celebrate for 2 weeks?
Absolutely. So
Celebrate love for 2 weeks.
I want to shout out Brian Fitzpatrick, who is hitting us up from Ireland. Ireland, how are you, Brian? Thank you for hitting us up. Do y'all celebrate Valentine's Day in Ireland? Brian, let me know. Put it in the chat. I don't know if y'all are.
Oh, how nice. In Ireland. Is it cold in Ireland? I have no clue.
We don't know.
What's the weather in Ireland? Yeah. Okay, so let me do a little background history, as Willie Reed said. So we're excited. You know, Valentine's Day, the most popular day for the roses.
Yeah.
85% of the flowers are roses. Okay, I got to get information and bring it to you guys. So 85% of the flowers that are sold are roses.
Roses, okay.
That are going to wilt in a couple of days.
In a couple of weeks, maybe a week.
Think it'll last a week?
I think so.
So what can you do for the person you love? Do something that won't wilt.
That won't wilt.
So you think it's chocolate?
Chocolate was good, but now we're going to eat these. They're going to go away within a few weeks. We're going to eat them. They are good. And we put little cherries in it.
A little nuts.
Nuts. And we got some little...
So we want you to start thinking about what are some things that you can do different during COVID. Put some suggestions in the chat box. I want you to start thinking about that. And one of the things I thought about, other than let us make chocolate together, we'll come back to that later, but you don't have to go out and buy a card. Why don't you try writing something?
That's good.
Instead of buying a card, to create a card.
Create your own card.
With the words and the crayons. How about that?
I like it. I like it. I think that's
good. And it's cost effective too.
Well, yeah, I know you like that. And she doesn't have to go out. But let me tell you.
And I don't have to,
We went out. Went to get, it's snowing here. They were predicting snowstorm. So I said.
He's very persuasive, and he talked me into riding with him.
Riding with me.
Saturday,
day before the snow was coming.
Because he was going to pick up a couple of things. He was going to run in the store and pick up a couple of things, right? And I was going to sit in the car. We went to several, was it 3 or 4 Whole Foods, and there were lines. There were lines. And we went to one on Connecticut Avenue. There was no line. And then he was driving around. I was like, oh, there's no line. Okay. I put my 3 masks on. I did not have my shield. I had my gloves. I said, I'm going to go in. I'm going to press through and get these couple of items. A war zone.
It wasn't that bad.
The war zone. The shelves were empty. The people were bringing out who worked. They were bringing out items for the shelves. The people were bumping into each other with their carts, rushing. Oh, excuse me. I was starting to hyperventilate and everything. And then he comes in and throws stuff in the cart, and we get in the short line, and he gets in the line where you self-check. I don't like self-check line. Because you gotta touch everything. Does anybody else? You gotta touch. I don't want to touch everything. And then he goes over to the side with the stuff put back in the cart, and I got to pay and touch the screen. Just traumatizing. Got in the car. Lord, I was just broke down.
She was broke down. I just need to go home.
I had to go to bed.
Take me out of bed.
I cannot. I cannot. Because I had already ordered through Prime. I can't do it. Is anybody else like me? Just stay in until 2024. So I am going to create your Valentine's card on a cardboard.
I got a feeling you're not going out to store to get it.
I'm not going out to get anything.
All right.
So where did this Valentine's Day
Tell us about Valentine's Day.
Saint Valentine's Day.
Okay.
And the holiday is really February 14th. And it's supposed to express love and affection with greetings and gifts.
Okay.
So you know what you're going to get. You're going to get a handmade card.
Oh, I thought I was going to get something else. I thought I was going to get something else. Something really.
You're going to get a handmade card. You're going to get some of these chocolates.
Chocolates.
And if you're a really good boy, you're going to get something else.
Yay!
So Valentine's Day, according to history, really began about the end of the 5th century. You know, everything begins and ends in Rome, right?
Right. 5th century Rome.
It begins and ends in Rome, and it was a day of celebration of romance. Now, there's something peculiar about that. That's kind of like a positive thing, right? But there's an underside, a kind of ugly side to Valentine's Day.
Okay.
All right. Now, the Romans executed 2 men during this time the day became known as on February 14th, many in Rome during the 3rd century AD. And,
after the death of Christ. Okay.
And so it was called the wild and crazy Roman times. How about that? The wild and crazy Roman times, where people got drunk.
Wow.
They had romantic antics. They were naked in the streets.
Naked in the streets. They went wildy.
They were wild. And it is said that they lined young women up for the men to beat them.
Beat them?
Yeah.
Who want to beat a woman? That's foolish. I don't ever want to beat you. I just want to hug on you.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Kiss on you. And think about, he
and they
me
believed
turns me on. Turns me on.
And the men beating the young women, it was believed that this would help to make the men more fertile. You know, people just have all kinds of crazy things. It's a good thing that is no longer in existence.
Yeah, that wouldn't work here.
You know, just some of the crazy things that people do.
Yes.
So it calmed down. And of course, whoever is the teller of history creates the tradition.
His story. History is his story. Whoever writes it gets to tell the story.
And that's why we want to write our own stories.
Right.
And so it became love.
Yeah.
Affection. Romance. Not the, what's that word? Hedonistic. Is that right?
Hedonistic.
Not the hedonistic concepts and activities.
Hedonistic are orgies,
which the Romans were really noted for.
Yeah, they
did all that kind of.
They were wildy. They were wilding, or wilding. I think it's called wilding. Okay.
So we have progressed to February 14th as the day of showing love and affection and tenderness and romance.
Right.
And that's the story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. So what we want to say to people is, what do you do during romance time? And we want to give you some principles. You know, our book is written in principles. Principles are bedrock. You throw a rock up in the air, it comes down 100 times because of a principle called gravity. And the principles in these books, and the principle we got in the book and we put in the book and we learned from our experiences as well as the others that we interviewed are bedrock. They work over and over again. And so what we are encouraging people to do is do what Natalie and her husband did. Get 2 copies of the book and then read it together. And thank you, Anthony Bowling, my man. I see you over there. And I appreciate you. And so what we wanted to do is talk about the principles in the book and our lives and the lessons we learned that changed our lives. Okay, remember, our story is that we were really having a tough time those first few years. It was really tough. And we were arguing. And one night we argued over Chinese food, chung pao chicken and shrimp fried rice and whatever else. And she wanted one thing, I wanted to do something else, and we got into a big argument because each one of us wanted our way. It was just Chinese food. It was stupid, and you look in a rearview mirror, but at that moment it was very, very
I thought it was important because you were not listening to me. You were talking over me.
I was over talking her, and I was loud, and I was
What?
hollering.
And we can go there today, but we don't allow ourselves, or we calm ourselves down before it gets there because of the lessons that we
learned and systems we created. That when you are upset, that you think before you speak, because your words are like toothpaste. Once they're out of the tube, you can't pull them back. And so you got to be careful what you say to your spouse. And then you got to use systems. We developed systems that we have. The 4F system for having uncomfortable, difficult conversation. Be friendly, be frank, be fair, be focused. That right in the book. Systems that we don't
give me a system.
Okay.
You know, you always say a system.
Here's a
sometimes
system.
as a teacher, I'm like,
all right, let's give them a system. Let's give them a system.
Okay.
A system is that when you're angry, that if you have something that's on your heart, you're upset, you're mad, somebody hurt your feelings, Do not take today's problems with you till tomorrow.
So how do you handle it
How do
today?
the system? Before you go to bed, before those eyes close, you fix it. If you got to apologize, do it quickly. Don't.
But I don't want to apologize to you.
Well, the system says you got to. Before we go to bed.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
You can say all the systems you want. Okay, you must apologize before you go to bed. You two have to agree that you're going to do that, and then you have to keep your word.
Well, there's another system. There's another part of the system. Keep your word. It's a system. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you say I'm going to be somewhere at a certain time, and you're not able, you at least let them know, hey, I'm running late. But you keep your word. Very important. And then this is about trust. I had Stephen Covey on my Sirius XM show.
M.R. Covey.
Stephen M.R. Covey, not the father, not the head.
Who's dead?
The father's dead. I couldn't have him, who was my friend. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I had the son, The Speed of Trust. New York Times bestseller. 2 million copies sold. It'll be aired tomorrow at 6 p.m. and Thursday at 6 p.m. on Sirius XM channel 141.
And what if they don't have Sirius XM?
Then next week it'll be on my podcast. We reverted to, or we produce it to the podcast. It'll be free on my podcast. But he talks about trust and how critically important trust is in any successful relationship, business or personal. Is that you're doing what you say you do. Keeping your word.
So how do you build that trust? If trust has been broken in a relationship, I'm angry with you. You said you were going to do, or you said you were going to put the money in the bank account and the money not there and the mortgage bounce.
All right. Or, there are even worse things. People who have infidelity and they want to rebuild trust. Now, he talks about, I asked him, how do you rebuild trust? I could not give it in my personal experience in having an affair or being...
Because you're still here.
That, for those who don't know, yeah, I'm still here, because if I had an affair...
He might still be here, but he might be limping a little bit.
Or she'd have a prison ministry, one or the other. Anyway, so she would have killed me. So here's what he said. Trust is reestablished by consistently doing the action that you said you're going to do. And it takes time to rebuild trust. That is why you have to keep your word. Terrence says, keep your word. Back in the day, it was called keep your word is your bond. That's right. Yeah. That's right. My dad said your word is your bond. You speak it, it's done. And so that's one of the things we have done over the years.
But you know what, I would say that trust today in society as a whole is broken because everything is a lie. Everything is, if you say, don't believe what you see, only believe what I told you you should be seeing.
Right.
So trust just in our society generally is cracked or is fractured. So we have to work at building it with our partners and just in this society as a whole, because this last couple of years have been very difficult with truth.
Right. With
not sharing the truth and not being able to own up with, I made a mistake. I'm sorry.
Hey, let me tell you something, folks, I've learned very important in marriage. And I want to say shout out to Pastor Linda Tompkins and some of the others who have joined us. Thank you so much. Please let people know on Instagram. Send us some hearts, send us some love so that more and more people can join. Remember, when people on Facebook Live start a watch party, share it, like it. Now, one of the things we've learned about trust is that rebuilding trust or re-establishing trust is that when you keep your word, it creates a reputation that you have kept. You are a word keeper or a person who will do what they say. And that impacts your marriage, your relationship, your children, every part of your establishment and your legacy. So we want to encourage people to keep the marriage life going because it really can be reestablished, rehealed.
Keeping your word makes you comfortable, makes the other person comfortable with you.
Yes.
Even when situations are challenging.
Yes. So look, before I forget this, we only got about 8 minutes left. We're trying to keep it to half hour, but two things. One is so many of you have asked, we really need more time. We really want to get a deep dive, and we really want to have your lessons where you can go into great depth and emphasis on each of the 10 points that you talk about in the book. So what we decided we're going to do, we're starting a series called the Jolley Marriage Enrichment Series. The Jolley Marriage Enrichment Series. We're going to start it on the
last
Thursday of the month
in February.
And it's going to be a membership where you can join over. It's going to be 10 parts to the series, 10 sessions, and we're going to go deep dives. It's going to be a Thursday, last Thursday of the month. And we want to know if you want to come. It's going to be $30. $30 if you get a single session, $30 per session.
So that means you can buy a session whenever you want?
Yeah, you can buy a session, but what we recommend you do, you buy all 10 in one time. You get all 10 for $250. So if you want to enrich, enhance, improve your marriage, and you're serious about it, and you want a deep dive where we can go into detail, not on Facebook Live. This is going to be on a private platform. Then what you should do is and go and pay tonight. Register. Go to jollymarriage.com/series. jollymarriage.com/series. You can do the $30 one time and do that every month, which over 10 would be $300. Or you can just go ahead and say, I'm in. I'm doing it. I love you guys. I want all you got. I want to save my marriage. I want my
Maybe you want a chocolate party. That's what we're working on.
We're working on those ideas. But we want to do these series where we do a deep dive and real life lessons to help your marriage. And we're not going to be time constrained. So go to jollymarriage.com/series and register right now. The first one's coming up in a few weeks. Now, do you have a dose of D today? We got 5 minutes.
I do have a dose of D.
Go ahead.
Okay, my dose of D is very simple. You know, we've talked about wills and trusts. And you're like, oh, here she goes again talking about that. You know what? I mentioned to y'all before, there's a book, In Case You Get Hit by a Bus. I love it. I'm buying it I've already ordered 10 copies. I'm buying it for all the people that I love, especially my nieces and my son and next generation, because there's so many pieces to managing your family, which is a business. So we want to focus on why a will and a trust. A will is a document that says, when I die, all my stuff, I want them to go there. Okay? I just want them to go to her. But if you don't have a trust, then the court gets in and goes through probate, where the court looks at the document and says, so-and-so gets this, and this, right? You don't want the court involved. So you want a trust. And a trust says the court's not involved and nobody sees or identifies where your assets go, but your assets and the person directly, it's who it's supposed to go to, who is your trustee. And your trustee distributes.
Well, many of you know that we talked about it. You might not know because you might have just joined. On Christmas Eve, our gift to ourselves that we executed not only our will, this is our third will, our fourth will probably, but we've done a number of wills, but this is the first time we've done a trust with a trust, first of all, and the trust had a mindset established where we are planning for the trust to be able to continue to be a blessing to
other generations.
100 years from now.
And so we're now funding the trust. So we had a meeting Friday with instructions only, because we signed our will documents, we signed our trust, but now you got to put the property, put the bank accounts, put the investment accounts into your trust. So I am like, you guys need to find out about a will, you need to investigate a trust, and you need to get focused on doing it. You know why? Because there's only a 495,000% chance that you're going to get hit by a bus. But it is absolutely guaranteed that you're not going to get out of this life alive.
Nobody get out of life alive.
What you going to do? Are you going to make your loved ones pissed off because you died?
Pisseth office?
With no insurance. They can't even bury you, can't even burn you up.
Or like they said, let them sit on the top of the...
Which what my grandfather said ages ago. I'm going to cancel my life insurance and I just stay on top of the ground and stink because I want to spend the money. I mean, you want your loved ones to be able to grieve for you and love you and not have a hot mess left behind. That's my dose of D. Work on your will and your trust. And then the next thing, okay, rebalance your portfolio. Investments. Rebalance your portfolio depending upon your age. We're different by a decade.
Hey, let me tell you what I just decided to do.
Wait a minute, you're hopping around.
I know I got it, but our time is up. Okay. We got to tell them, if you go to and you sign up for the Jolley Marriage Enrichment Series, and you do it tonight, I'm going to throw in a couple things for you. I really want to help many people I can. Go to jollymarriage.com/series. You got one or two options. And either option, you're going to get a goodie from me.
Which is what?
One, we did an interview on Friday with Russell Price, publisher of Be There magazine. He asked us some questions we had never been asked before. He brought us some points we had never even considered. And afterward, he said that was the best interview I've ever had in all my years of being on radio. And it's an hour interview. I'm going to send that to you with my compliments if you sign up for because we want to help people with this marriage.
Two things he talked about that I found that were memorable to me. Do you have an announceable marriage? I was like,
what is that? And he talks about you guys have one.
He said we have an announceable marriage. Like, what the heck is that?
Right.
That really tells people that he's married, that he's proud to be married. He talks about his wife. Does your spouse talk about you in a positive fashion in front of your face as well as behind your back?
So here we talked about that. So I'm going to send you that interview. And you're going to enjoy it. It's fabulous. I didn't think it would be that great, but it turned out to be one of those just magical. We'll send that to you, our gift. And then Dee said something to me tonight. She said, why don't you sing a little bit about Funny Valentine? Well, we didn't have time to do it.
Okay.
I'll send you also, if you sign up for this Marriage Enrichment Series, my recording of my Funny Valentine play will bless you. It will just send you. Darling, you send me. We will do that.
So next week,
let me tell them where to go. Let me tell them where to go to get there because they'll say, what was that place? jollymarriage.com /series. Go now. Sign up. $30 if you want to do month by month, but $250 for the whole 10-part series.
Tomorrow's Groundhog Day.
Okay, so
you made me forget what I was going to say.
I know, that's what all you have now. Because that popped up on her screen.
But we're going to do, I was going to say, share with us so that we can share with everybody something special that you're going to do for Valentine's Day. We don't have to buy anything. How about that?
Well, I just want to know what they're going to do. I'm not going to tell them not to buy anything. What are you going to do? What are you going to do in a pandemic? That's more important. What are you going to do in a pandemic to celebrate Valentine's Day with your special significant other? Let us know what you're going to do with that. Send us an email at info@williejolly.com. info@williejolly.com. Go to jollymarriage.com to get the free chapter for those who are first timers and don't have the book. Everybody should have the book. And then go sign up for our series. We want you to be a part of our 10-part deep dive marriage enrichment, marriage improvement series. Go to jollymarriage.com /series. And then if you sign up, Today, you're going to get that interview, hour-long interview with Russell Price, Be There Magazine. It's powerful that he interviewed us in a mighty way. Look, our time is up. Thank you for yours. We out. Jolly out.
Jolly out.
See ya.